नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे हरे. Welcome to Bhagavad Gita 18 Understanding Bhagavad Gita in 18 days session. We are in 8th chapter. So before starting the session, we'll take blessings from Sri Sri Radha Govinda temple. All the our journey of understanding Bhagavad Gita. Chapter name is Akshara Brahma Yoga, attaining the Supreme. This is 8th chapter. So we will come to know how to attain the Supreme, why to attain, everything. Okay, so what is attaining the Supreme? Means Supreme is God, right? There is a Supreme God. So we have to go to his place, that is spiritual world. That is clearly mentioned in chapter 8. In yesterday's chapter, we have seen that 7th chapter. Krishna is telling Arjuna to hear. You have to hear about me first. Before worshipping, we should have knowledge of God, right? So Krishna is telling to hear. The importance of hearing is mentioned. Then Krishna mentioned about his energy. Everywhere he is present. Earth, water, fire, air, all, everything is his energy. And even all of this living entity, they are also energy of Krishna. So everything is energy of Krishna. Then Krishna mentioned who will accept, who will not accept. Means there are 4 types of people will accept Krishna and 4 types of people will reject Krishna. So who are 4 types will accept? That is Artho, Artharthi, Jignasi, Jnani. Means who are all so much distressed, they will pray to Krishna. Who are all so much desire of wealth, they will pray to Krishna. Who are very inquisitive, they wanted to know what will happen after death, what will happen. So they are inquisitive, they will reach some devotees or somebody spiritualist, they will come to know about Krishna. So that is what. Another one is Jnani, they are already in the knowledge, so they are worshipping Krishna. So out of these 4 categories, Jnanis are Krishna mentioned Priyohi Jnaninas Shaiva. So out of 4, Jnanis are like Krishna likes Jnanis because they will continuously in the devotional service because they are in full knowledge. And 4 types of people who do not come to Krishna, that also he mentioned. That is, some people are working very hard, like they're so full, they don't even have time to think or pray to God. That is one category. Another category is Maya Aprita Jnana. Their knowledge is stolen by illusion. That is Maya. They don't have knowledge. Another one is the demon people, like that. Another one is uncivilized. They don't even have basic anything like the basic knowledge or education. They're uncivilized. They don't even have book knowledge or whatever knowledge. But if you have some book knowledge, you can read. At least you will come to know by scripture. But they are uncivilized. They don't even know basic any basic culture also. Another one is demonic people. So these these are all discussed in 7th chapter. And last section was talked about demigod. So now in chapter 8, Krishna is telling Akshara Brahma Yoga, that is the attaining the Supreme. So in the 8.1, okay, the short word for the 8th chapter is dead. Okay, D-E-A-D. D for doubts. Arjuna is asking questions to Krishna about what is Jiva Bhuta, what is Adi Deva, what is Brahma. Everything is asking the question. What is Deva, what is the Supreme God. Everything is asking in sloka 1 to sloka 4 of 8th chapter. Then next section from sloka 5 to sloka 8, Krishna is talking about our end of life. What we have to do at the end of life, like that. So to attain supreme, this chapter name itself is attaining the supreme, means going to the spiritual world. To go to spiritual world, what we have to do, that is Krishna is telling. In the end of the life, what will happen in the end of the life, means how we should be, then only we'll go to spiritual world, that is mentioned. Then third section, that is sloka 9 to 22, that is attaining God, how to attain, why to attain, and what and all we should do to attain. The last section is devotion. Of course, devotion is also way to attain the supreme, that is mentioned. So in the 8.1, Arjuna is asking to Krishna. So this chapter begins with Arjuna Uvacha. Uvacha means said, telling. So Arjuna is telling in this chapter. Okay. Other chapters usually, sometimes Krishna, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, sometimes Krishna is replying, continuing, sometimes Arjuna. So in the 8.1 is Arjuna Vacha. So Arjuna inquired, "Oh my Lord." So Purushottama word, he used Purushottama here, the supreme person. What is Brahman? What is self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. And he's continued his question. How does this Lord of sacrifice live in the body? And in which part does he live? O Madhusudana. Madhusudana is Krishna's name. He has killed the demon Madhu. So the name Madhusudana has come to Krishna. And another question is, how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? Okay, these are all the questions. So many questions Arjuna is asking. We'll analyze what and all his question. Okay. So what is Brahman? The spirit. So we all have the spirit energy, right? That is soul inside our body. So that itself is a Brahman. Krishna is replying as Jiva, indestructible living entity is Brahman, the spirit. So the soul itself is the Brahman. It is Jiva is referred as soul, not by body. Body is not called as Jiva. So the soul is called as Jiva. Our life is there because of the soul, right? We have seen in second chapter. So soul itself is called as Brahman because it is eternal. It is indestructible. For soul, there is no birth, no death. We saw in second chapter. Ajo Nityam Shashwatoyam Puranam Na Hanyate Hanyamane Sharire. So Aja, what is Aja? Aja means unborn. Soul is unborn. Okay, only the body is it is taking different form. But soul, same soul. There is no change for soul. It is transferring to the body when the body when we get the next body, the soul is transferred to that body. And when we are dying, soul is going away out from the body. So that soul itself is spiritual energy. That is Brahman. Okay. So whenever the word, if you might have heard Aham Brahmasmi, that means it doesn't mean that I am God. Aham Brahmasmi means I am Brahman. That is the soul is there within me. So I am only soul. That is what. Okay. And then later, the follower of Shankaracharya, they've changed it to everybody's God like that. But Shankaracharya, he was correct. Aham Brahmasmi means that spirit soul is there. That is me. That is correct. Okay. Next, Adhyatma. Another question is, what is Adhyatma? Controller of the body. The answer is soul. So Jiva. Jiva is only the controller of the body, right? Our body is there just because of the soul. We saw in third chapter also, Indriyani Parani Ahu Indriyabhyo Paramana Manasastu Parabuddhi Yo Buddha Parasastu Sa. In that, Sa, that is a he. He means the self. Soul is the highest. So soul is controlling everything ultimately. So Adi Atma means who is the controller of the body? So soul is controller of the body. Because of the soul, we are present today. Because of the soul, we are able to sit here and we are able to discuss. If soul is left the body, it is dead body. There is nothing. Consciousness is there. Then Arjuna is asking, what is fruitive activities? Karma. So word karma has different meanings. Karma means any work you are doing, action. Another karma means for the result also they will call as karma, sinful reaction. Another word karma is karma kanda procedures, that is fruitive activities. In Vedas, there are so many different types of worship is mentioned. If you do this um, yajna or this puja, you will get this benefit. If you do this puja, you will get that benefit. So these are all called as karma kanda procedures. It is giving you some fruit, right? Some benefit. You, for a benefit, you are doing that puja. So those rituals are called as fruitive activities. Those are all actions leading to material body only. It is not nothing related to the spiritual there. You need some desire, so you're for your bodily comfort, so you're asking, so you're doing that puja. So those are all actions are fruitive activities. Even though it is, you may consider it as a ritualistic ceremony or some godly related activity, but still you are doing it for your bodily pleasure. So it is all karma kanda rituals. It is leading to material body. In ISKCON temple, we will not do such worship, puja and all, taking money and doing so much puja, like this puja, that puja and all, because we are all not working for the material body's benefit. We are doing worshipping here for the soul benefit. That's why you will see the difference between ISKCON temple and normal temple. Okay, in normal temple they will take money and they will do so many different pujas. Okay, if you do this puja, this will happen. They will break the coconut. So those so many things they will do. But in ISKCON temple they will don't do, because we are working here for the benefit of the soul, not for the bodily pleasure or bodily comfortment. Yeah, bodily comfort. So next word is, the next question is Adibhuta. What is material manifestation? So Krishna is replying, material nature, manifestation, material body made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. This is called as Adibhuta. Mainly the living beings, just the outer covering, that is the body, is considered as Adibhuta. Okay, material manifestation is called as Adibhuta. Adi Atma means it is a soul. Adibhuta means material body. So usually Bhuta means it's all living entities. Okay, Sarva Bhuta means a Bhuta. Bhuta means it's a living entities made up of Panchamaha Bhuta, that is earth, water, fire, air, those things, ether. So Adidaiva means supreme demigod. Krishna, Arjuna is asking, who is Adidaiva? Adidaiva means supreme demigod, that is universal form, which includes all demigods. Even demigod also, all demigod. Adidaiva means usually Daiva. Daiva means demigod, right? Even that universal form of Krishna, if you consider, that is also considered as demigod. That is not the ultimate form. Why? Because that is still in the material world. Krishna showed that Virat Rupa, universal form of material manifestation. There is nothing related to spiritual. There is no spiritual world in that Virat Rupa, Vishwarupa. Okay, that is a universal form. So that is also, so if somebody prayed to that universal form, he cannot go to spiritual world. That is still a material. Okay, so Adidaiva includes all demigods along with that universal form. Okay, Adi Yajna. What is Adi Yajna? Adi Yajna is the enjoyer of sacrifice. So who is enjoyer of the sacrifice? Krishna recommended we all must and should do our sacrifice. Sacrifice means our prescribed duty. We are doing two duties: duty for benefit of soul and duty for benefits of body. How to do that? By as an offering, as a sacrifice, means to the pleasure of God we have to do. If you see in the third chapter, Yajna Purusha is Vishnu, that is a Paramatma within the heart. So Vishnu's another expansion is like Paramatma is residing in everybody's heart. So that is also mentioned in this chapter. So Paramatma, he is a beneficiary of all sacrifices. Basically the Vishnu, okay? So the enjoyer of sacrifice is Vishnu. And that is Adi Yajna. And what does Adi Yajna reside? Where does Adi Yajna resides? So God as a Paramatma, in everybody's heart, he is residing, in heart of all. So Kshirodaka Shayi Vishnu, his expansion is there in everybody's heart as a super soul. Then the eighth question is how to remember Krishna at the time of death. So practice remember throughout life, then you will remember at the time of death. These are all 8 questions asked by Arjuna, and these are all reply given by Krishna. We'll continue. So the same thing in the description, translation format. In 8.3, Supreme Lord said, the indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman. So who is Brahman? Brahman means that soul, okay? That's indestructible. transcendental living entity is called Brahman. So in 7th chapter also Krishna told Apareya Mitastvanya. So that is there is a supreme nature, that is a living being. So all living beings are superior nature. Why superior? Because our soul is indestructible. It cannot be cut by weapon. Nobody can destroy the soul. There is no birth, no death for soul. Okay, it is a transcendental. It's his eternal nature called self. Action pertaining to the development of these material body is called karma or fruitive activities. The action, whatever we're doing in this material body, that is called as karma. Next, the Supreme Lord said the same thing. In 8.4, so in 8.4 it is mentioned, physical nature is known to be constantly changing. It is called Adibhuta. For soul, there is no change. Soul is a Adi, it is a Brahman, right? So our physical body is Adibhuta. It is constantly changing. We don't know. See, when we were small, the body is changing. When and body changed, we become big, child, then big child, then mid age, body is changing. Then we get old age, body is changing. Then full old age, then finally death. So there is changes to the body. Then next body it will take. Like that. Every moment our body is dying, but we are not able to make out. See, when we sleep, when we get up next day, there is some growth has happened. Like the changes are there. We are not able to see that. When you see somebody, if you see daily, if you're seeing, you can't make the changes. After, like if you see after 1 year, you can make out, oh, you grown so tall, you will tell. So daily we are changing. We are not able to recognize it. So physical nature is known to be constantly changing. Is called Adibhuta. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as a super soul in heart of every embodied being. So Krishna is telling, I residing in everybody's heart as a Supreme Lord. Vishnu form is there in everybody's heart. That is a Kshirodakshai Vishnu is residing in everybody's heart as a super soul. So Krishna is telling that I am, as a Supreme Lord, represented as a super soul in the heart of every embodied being. Okay, that is called Adi Yajna, the Lord of sacrifice. See, this caterpillar also, just one example, how body is changing. Caterpillar completely its body is transformed into the butterfly. I have one small video. I will just share that. You will come to know how the caterpillar is going to change. So like that, not only caterpillar, even our body is also changing. Our body also changes like this and will come to death one or other day. Mataji, can you able to see the YouTube screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, now you all can see how caterpillar is changing into butterfly. Caterpillar came out from the egg. Okay. Caterpillar, it ate so much all the leaf and it is now changing, transforming. Just see. See now how the butterfly will come out from this cocoon. So this is how the caterpillar has changed from butterfly. Sorry, the caterpillar changed and how it got the butterfly body. So we'll come back to our PowerPoint presentation. So our physical nature is known to be constantly changing, not only caterpillars, even ours also. So every moment our body is dying and it is get new cells are growing. So this change is called Adibhuta. Okay. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as a super soul in heart of every living being. That is called Adiyajna. So Adiyajna means the Lord of sacrifice. That is a super soul form. Vishnu form is residing in the everybody's heart. And so Arjuna's question is done. Now the second part, end of life. This is the second. So D for doubt, Arjuna's doubt, and Krishna replied. Now the second part, second section of 8th chapter is E. E is end of life. So what is end of life? See, everybody has to die one or other day. Okay, our body is continuously changing, right? So after one day, the final change is soul is leaving the body. That is a final change. So everybody has to go through these changes, whoever it is. So in 8.5, Krishna tells, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. And whoever at the time of death quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. On this, there is no doubt. What is Krishna told here? Anta kale means at the time of death. Anta means end. At the time of kala means time. Okay. At the end of our life, that is during the death, who is Smaran? Smaran means remembering of Mam Eva. Krishna did not remember to, you remember Ganesha, you remember Saraswati or Lakshmi, nothing he told. He told Mam Eva, who remembers me alone. So Mam means Krishna, right? Krishna is telling this. Mam Eva. Smaran means remember. So whoever at the time of death quitting this body, so when soul is quitting this body, whoever remembering Krishna, he will attain my nature, means spiritual. For this, there is no doubt. Means next there will be no material body for him. If one is able to remember Krishna, he will be given spiritual. He will go to spiritual nature. That is spiritual world. He will go. But during the death, so much of pain we will face. So like 1,000 scorpion bite, how it will be like that pain. It is compared. It is very difficult. We all just wanted to come out of this pain. That's what our mind will be. It is very difficult to remember Krishna. So many things will come to our mind. Oh, what will happen to my kids? Or who will take care of my parents? So many things. Or what will happen to this? What will happen to that? So many things. What you are attached, we will remember. So it is difficult to remember Krishna. And next, but Krishna also given solution. How to remember? That also is given. This is one small example of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj was like, he was he was a king initially, okay? In the palace with so much opulent life, it was there. Opulent means he was so rich. So many things were there. Comfortably, life was there. At one point of time, he came to know that there is a self-realization process is there. I have to do meditation process. He went to forest and he started doing all sacrifices to remember God. He went there, but he was doing. But once in the forest, there are so many animals, right? Once he saw one tiger is chasing the deer, mother deer, and it was somehow it got escaped. It came near to Bharat Maharaj, and mother, it was so much hurt because it was escaping from the that animal, right? Tiger or lion, something. So it came, and the baby deer was there on his in his stomach. So at it was running so much. It got so tired, and it was at the last time of its life. It was death, approaching death, and it died. But during that time, it gave birth to the baby deer. So Bharat Maharaj saw this. Oh my God, so much small, so small baby deer is there. Its mother is also not there. Who will take care of it? So he was so compassion towards the deer. It is still bodily compassion, okay? So his compassion towards the deer, and he started taking care of deer. See, he took care of deer. He fed the deer. He was so much playing with deer because nobody is there to take care. He was taking once he's giving bath and like a small baby, like that he started taking care. So he becomes so much attached. See, he left all his family members, children, everyone, he and all the kingdom, everything he left. He came to forest. Why did he come? For self-realization process. To do devotional service, he came. To do meditation or yajna, whatever it is, he came. But he got diverted. He completely stopped doing those sacrifices or whatever his duty, he completely neglected. And he attached to the deer and he became busy in taking care of the deer and he became so much attached. And once deer was not busy, somewhere it went for playing, searching of food, it went. Bharat Maharaj went in searching of that deer. He couldn't find anywhere. His leg slipped from the highest mountain and he fell down and he approached death. That head got injured and death came to him. Means it is the end of his life, death. He got death. But during death, when he's dying, again he started thinking of deer. What will happen to that deer? Its mother is also not there. Surroundings, nobody is there. Who will take care of that deer? He was thinking of deer in the in his mind. Then next birth he got deer birth. He got the body of deer. Even though he is in the Bhava stage is very high. Like when you do Shabda, Sadhasanga, Bhajana Kriya, then Anartha Nivritti will happen. Then Nishta, then Asakti Ruchi, then you will go to the Bhava stage. So Bharat Maharaj is already in Bhava stage, but still he fell down because he got attached to deer. He stopped his devotional service. So that's what in next sloka it is mentioned. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajat yante kalevaram tam tam eva iti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. The translation of this sloka is whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that states he will attain without fail. So who Bharat Maharaj was thinking about deer at the time of death. So he got deer body in his next life. So whatever we think, we will attain that at the time of death. So it is very important. At the end of life, we have to remember Krishna. But how to remember Krishna? That is not so easy. If we daily practice, then only it is possible to remember at the time of death. So Krishna is telling, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yudhyacha mayarpita mano buddhir mame vashyasi asamshayaha. So therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me, not only at the time of death, okay? You should always think of me in the form of Krishna. So tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara iddacha. Mam anusmara. Mam, Krishna told, you remember me every time. He didn't tell you to remember Lakshmi, Saraswati or Shiva or any other god, Indra, Chandra, Surya, Agni. He didn't tell. He told sarveshu kaleshu. All the time you remember me, he mentioned, right? So tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara iddacha. Iddacha means we all have tough time. So we have to remember Krishna every time. Whatever time it is, not only during tough time, every time. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. Mai arpita mano buddhi means at same time you remember and you do your duty. Krishna is not telling to leave everything, go to forest and remember, or go to temple, become full-time devotee. That nothing is telling. And he is telling us to carry out our prescribed duty also parallelly. With your activities dedicated to me, your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. So every day if you remember Krishna, then it will be easy to remember at the time of death also. Okay. So at the time of death, there are like a film, like whatever we have done from day one to day end, everything will be fastly, it will be coming to our mind, it seems. I read somewhere this is. So that's why if you daily do practice, daily do devotional service, if you daily pray to God, then that praying will also come to your mind at the end time. So whatever has happened in your life, everything will come to your mind. So everything will come, right? So if you pray, that will also come to your mind. It will be easy to remember Krishna then. So every day if you remember, that will be easy. And in 8.8, Krishna is telling, Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanya gramina Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Parthanuchintayan. So this is attaining God. He who meditates on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he is sure to reach me. Means he who is, his mind is constantly engaged in remembering, who is every day chanting Krishna. By chanting, we are telling Krishna's name. So it is easy to remember Krishna, right? By telling his name. So how to remember one person? If you tell one name of the person, you will remember him, right? So like that, if you tell Krishna's name, we will remember Krishna. So daily, if you remember Krishna, then it is easy. Like our mind is thinking of Krishna, engaged in remembering Krishna, and undeviated from the path. We should not deviate from the path. Okay, one day you're chanting, next day you're not chanting, not like that. Every day, you constantly engaged. Constantly means regular interval. Every day you have to chant, fixed round, undeviated from this path. He is sure to reach me. So where is Krishna is there? Krishna is in spiritual world always. So we will reach Krishna if we are every day practicing devotional service. Okay. Paramam Purusham Divyam. There we will go. So in spiritual world, there are innumerable spiritual Vaikuntha planets are also there. Even Goloka planets also there. You will go to any one of the planet. Okay. God has different form. Vishnu has so many incarnations. Pradyumna, Vamana, Niruddha, Purushottama, Narayana, so many forms are there. So different planets are there in spiritual world, Vaikuntha planets, innumerable. Above that is the Goloka planet also there, Goloka Vrindavana. You will go to that planet if you are based on your inclination towards which form. If you are inclined towards that particular Vishnu, you will go to that Vaikuntha planet. If you are inclined towards Krishna, you will go to the spiritual, that is a Goloka Vrindavana, like that. And Krishna talks about spiritual world here. See, one should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is oldest. So Supreme Person, God knows everything. Like that, we have to meditate. We have to think, consider Supreme Person. He knows everything, right? In 7th chapter, we saw that Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha arjuna bhavishanyancha bhutani cha. So Krishna knows past, present, future of everybody. We know only our present and whatever happened to past. But Krishna knows our past, present, future, not only this life, our previous life past, what happened. So many births we have taken. Each birth past, what happened, that Krishna knows. That is confirmed in 4th chapter and even 7th chapter also. So we should think that God knows everything, our past, future, present, everything, past life, everything. So Supreme Person as who know everything, as he know who is the oldest, who is the controller. So he is the oldest. Means he is there before this universal this creation happened. Before that also he was there. Okay, who controller, who is the smaller than the smallest. How he becomes smaller than the smallest? Like in every atom, he is there as a super soul. Even if you take the stone, if you take the tree, if you take the human being, everywhere he is there as a super soul. So when Prahlada Maharaj, he was totally convinced in that pillar also God is there, because each and everything God is there and maintaining. Otherwise, how it will maintain? So he can become smaller than smallest also. Who is the maintainer of everything? Who is beyond all material conception? So he's a bit beyond material conception. He's a spiritual, he's a transcendental, who is inconceivable. Our senses are not enough to know about God, because his potency is unlimited, infinite. Okay. And who is always a person. He's a personal form. Okay. In 12th chapter also Krishna confirmed. So there are two types of worshipper. One is worshipping only energy form. They will think only energy is there. Some controlling energy is there. It is controlling everything. So Nirakara Rupa. Another form is personal worship, deity, like Vigraha rather than they will do. And Krishna in 12th chapter he confirmed personal form worship is the ultimate. Okay. Then he is a luminous like the sun. And being transcendental is beyond this material nature. So that's what we have to know about God. Achintya Rupam, Aditya Varnam, Tamasa Parastat. Okay, how we should know Krishna as? He is a Kavim Puranam, Anushasitaram, Anoraniya, Aniyam Sham. So in Anu, so Anu means atom, the small it is there, right? Anu Paramanu. In small thing also, he is there as a super soul. Even in our heart also, super soul is there. Anusmareya Sarvasya Dataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parasa. Okay, next, see, even Brahma, all the demigods, they are also worshipping. Brahma is worshipping always Vishnu. So that is one form of God, supreme God. Okay, and Shiva is also always, he is closed his eyes in meditation pose, is always meditating. There is higher than Shiva also some God, one God is there. That means, okay, now how to attain the supreme? That is mentioned in 8.14. Ananya chetha satatam yo mam smarati nityasha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginaha. Already Krishna told, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. That's why all the time you have to remember. Then only it will be easy for you to remember at the time of death. And again he is telling how to attain the supreme. So Ananya Chetasa Sasatam. So for one who always remember me without deviation. So Ananya, there is nothing, only Krishna. So Ananya Cheta means you are nothing thinking about at the time of death or every day. You have to pray only to Krishna. So one who always remembers me without deviation. Ananya means it is a deviation, okay? Not deviating to other topic or other work. So you have to, while chanting, you have to remember only about Krishna. So Ananya Chetasa Satatam. Yomam Smarati Nityasha, who is remembering me every day. Tasyaham Sulabha Partha. Like this way it is easy. Sulabha means easy. Nitya Yuktasya Yogina. You become daily. You practice means daily yogi, bhakti yogi. Means you become Nitya Yuktasya Yogina. I'm easy to obtain because of his constant engagement in devotional service. That what yogi? Yogi means bhakti yogi, who is practicing devotional service. He will follow the regulated principle of bhakti yoga. What is that regulated principle of bhakti yoga? Chanting 16 rounds every day. For children, it will be difficult. You can chant some round so that you will improve. When you grow big, it will be easy to chant 16 rounds. If you are able to chant 16 rounds, it is very good. So you have to fix round of chant, and you have to follow the 4 regulative principles. What is Guru is guiding, accept Guru. So many rules and regulations there in Bhakti Yoga. That in 12th chapter we'll discuss more about that. So I am so easy to obtain because of constant engagement in devotional service. So daily we have to pray to God. Then it will become easy to remember Krishna. Okay, then we can attain the supreme. And Krishna told why we have to attain the spiritual world, why we have to go. We are happy here, right? Why we have to go? But this happy is temporary. Anytime anything will come, anytime death will come. We are not sure, right? Anytime disease will, like it will come. So we are not sure. Anytime coronavirus will come or anytime some bad will happen. We are all in the difficult condition here. First, we have to understand we are in difficult condition. Then only we will plan to go to the have something better. So we are not happy here. That is confirmed by Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita 8 chapter 15 shloka. Mamupaitya punarjanma dukkalayam ashashvatam naknuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world which is full of misery. So what Krishna called this world as? It is a full of misery. It is a temporary world. Even in 15th chapter also Krishna told this world is just reflection of the real world. Real world is there, spiritual world. It is just reflection of that world. It is in the reflection, water reflection, that is not permanent, right? It is just temporary. Means even though spiritual world is there, but that reflection is not the real. Okay, it is not real. It is unreal. So real world is spiritual world. So whoever in the as previous verse, every day Ananya Chetasa means without deviating, who is remembering, he will for continuation is in 18.15. He will come to the spiritual world. He will not come to the material world. Material world is dukkhalayam. What is dukkha? Dukkha means crying. The places of misery. And it is ashashvatam. It is not permanent. It is temporary. Okay. So this earth, this world is temporary. Not only earth, even heaven is also temporary. Okay, that is all material world only. Whenever pralaya happens, even heaven will also destroy. We may think that if we go to heaven, we'll be happy, but that is also Krishna confirmed in next sloka. Okay, so whoever is practicing devotional service, they are great souls. They are yogis in devotion. They never return to this temporary world, which is full of misery, because they have attained the highest perfection. Okay, so why we have to go to the supreme, the spiritual world? Because we are now staying in the place of misery. It is dukkha layam. Okay, that's why we have to plan to go to spiritual world. See, in the here, birth is there. Birth is so much suffering is there. We all gone through with so much suffering in within mother's womb. There are so very small place. We are always like this in the small place, and so much of dirty disturbances, suffocations we have gone through. But we have forgotten now, and so much of bodily discomfort is there. Disease. There may be temporary pleasure, but always there is a problem only in the how in the ocean, always in the sea, always waves are hitting the shore. Sometimes waves is there, sometimes waves are not there, like that. Sometimes misery is there, sometimes not there. Whenever misery is not there, we are thinking we are happy, but that is not permanent. Okay, so old age is approaching for us, and death will also come one or another day, that is for sure. Our bodies daily it is changing. So even though you go to the heavenly planet, there is also always war is there. Even though in earth also there is a constant war is there. Everywhere it is there. Hell also so much suffering. So Krishna told, from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery. Okay, even though Brahmaloka to the least the Naraka, everywhere places of misery. Earth is in between. So, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. If you go consider from Brahma Loka, then Siddha Loka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, there in Swargaloka, then down, middle, the Bhuloka, then if you do go down, Patala Loka, Atala, Vitala, Patala, Tala, Tala, Sutala, there is one Naraka Loka also, everything. So total 14 planet system, all are this material world only. Wherever from least hellish planets to the topmost Brahma's planet, Satyaloka. So from there to till the lowest planet, in between heaven comes in, the middle planet is earth, wherever you go, but heaven is up top, upper planet system. So even in the middle planet earth, even the upper planet hell, heaven, or in the lowest, wherever you go, there is misery. All are places of misery, and repeated birth is there. Okay, from the Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartin Orjana. What is Punaravartana? Means like a cycle that birth, death, it is there, cycle. Okay. Mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. Krishna is telling in this. But one who attains my abode, there is they never take birth again. One who go to spiritual world, Mamupetya tu kaunteya. But one who attains my abode, punarjanma na vidyate. There is no punarjanma. No, they will not come to this material world. They will go take birth in spiritual world. And Krishna also talks about Brahmas. It is not so important. Just for your knowledge, I'm telling. One sloka is there, 8.17, 18, 19. There, Krishna talks about Brahma's lifetime. Sahasra yuga paryantam aharyad brahmano vidu ratrim yuga sahasrantam teho ratra vido janaha. So by human calculation, 1,000 ages means not 1,000 years. It is 1,000 chatur yuga. So one yuga, so one Kali yuga, next Dwapara, before that Treta, before that Satya, so 4 yuga. Like that 1,000 times chatur yuga it happens. That is one day of Brahma. Okay. And such also is the duration of night. Same duration is night. So chatur yuga, so 1,000 times, 1,000 times, 4 yugas repeated. Sahasra yuga paryantam. Then that is Brahma's one day. Then Ratrim Yugam Sahasram. Then again 1,000 like yugas. That is the duration of night. Like that Brahma lives for 100 years. So at the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state. So during the beginning of the day, only all these yuga cycles will come, right? All the manifest creation then manifestation, all they're maintaining everything, it is there during Brahma's daytime only, and during Brahma's night time. That is when 1000 yuga cycle is done, destruction, pralaya will come. So it takes 1000 yuga cycle time to destruction also. Okay, it is not so easily it will happen, pralaya. It will take Brahma's entire night to become devastation. So at the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifested state, and thereafter when night falls, they are merging into the unmanifested again. So we are all going to Brahma's body. That is not a spiritual. Again, we will come back. Okay, when pralaya happens, all material manifestation will enter into Brahma. Then again, it will come back. So we didn't go to spiritual world, but whoever go to spiritual world, that will never destroy, even though pralaya, even though annihilation also, it will never destroy. That's why Krishna is explaining all those things. In previous sloka, he told, right, whoever come to spiritual world, they will never come back. So this material world is places of misery, and whenever pralay happens, that everything will destroy, but the spiritual world will never destroy. So he's talking about Brahma, when pralay will come, when the devastation, annihilation will happen. So 8.18 there, Bhuta Gramam Sa Eva, in that sloka, it's mentioned again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being. And with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. Okay, we are all creating and destroying like that. So, but we still didn't go to spiritual world. It is just within Brahma only. Again, we are coming back. So we didn't go to the spiritual world. During Pralaya also, we are not going, not gone. Okay, we are there. So this is just calculation. Sahasra Yoga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano with the same sloka. So see, the Kali Yuga duration is 4,32,000 years. So if you multiply, so double than that is 8,64,000. That is Dwapara Yuga. And again multiply by 4. That is, see, 4 ones are 4, 4 twos are 8, 4 threes are 12, 4 fours are 16, plus remaining, it will added 17. So 4 times, so 4,32 is Kali Yuga, and multiply by that. So double is Kali Yuga, and again 3 times of Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga, 4 times of Kali Yuga is Satya Yuga. So 1 Divya Yuga means, if you add sum up 4 lakh plus 8 lakh plus 12 lakh plus the 70 lakhs equals to 4.32 million years. That is 1 Divya Yuga. Like that, 17 Divya is called as 1 Manvantara. We are in 7th Manvantara now. Okay, so that is the, okay, 1 Manvantara means 306.72 million years. Next, Kalpa. What is Kalpa? 14 Manvantara plus the night times, so equal to 4.32 billion years. Billion, okay, that is 1 Kalpa. That is 1 day of Brahma is 4.32 billion. So what is the entire lifespan? 100 years of Brahma means it is 311.04 trillion years. It is very difficult to tell. Okay, in the next also it is mentioned. See, 1 second of Brahma is 100,000 years. 1 second of Brahma, it's earthly year. By our 100,000 years means 10 lakhs years means Brahma's 1 second. Okay, 1 minute is 60 lakhs, and 1 hour of Brahma is so much, 360 crores. That is 1 hour of Brahma is 360 crores years. Like that, 1 day of Brahma is so many. It is a very big number. Okay, we no need to remember all this. Just for the knowledge, Krishna told, even though Brahma is so higher, but still he is also subjected to repeated birth. Okay, so even though you take from the small lower to the highest Brahma, you consider everybody subjected to repeated birth. After 100 years, another Brahma will come, like that. Okay, that's why if you go to the spiritual world, then only there is no repeated birth. That's why Krishna told all the Brahma's history and all here. So paras tasmatu bhavonyo vyakta sanatana yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nashya sunan vinashyati. Krishna is telling, yet there is another nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifest and unmanifested matter. So That is spiritual world, okay? It is supreme and is never annihilated. So whatever this universal creation, it is annihilated, it is destroyed during the Brahma's night. But there is a superior, the spiritual world, that will never destroy. Krishna confirmed in 8.20. It is a supreme Lord and is never annihilated, and something is there. So that is what in 8.20 it is mentioned. So what do they attain? The spiritual world, okay? Avyaktokshara iti yuktam. Here it is mentioned, continuation. So the see here mentioned, yam prapya na nivrattante taddama paramam mama. Na nivrattante. What na nivrattante means? Nivratti means retired. They will never retire. One who go to spiritual world, they will never retire back to material world. Okay. Taddama paramam mama. The same Taddama paramam mama in 15th chapter also Krishna repeated about spiritual world. Yadbhasate suryo na shashanko no pavaka yadgatvara nivartante taddama paramam mama. So na nivartante taddama paramam mama, repeated 2 times. Why Krishna repeated? It is, we have to convince, right? So it is important something. That's why Krishna is repeating. His spiritual world is whoever goes there, they will never return. Na nivartante taddama paramam mama. That which the Vedantis describe as the unmanifested and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that is spiritual world, that place from which having attained it, one never returns. That is my supreme abode. So spiritual world is described in 8th chapter. It is a supreme who will abode, supreme place to live. They will not come back. The supreme personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attained only by unalloyed devotion. Okay. So what do they attain? They attain devotional service. They attain spiritual world. How? How? By doing devotional service. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. So this is about Supreme God, who is greater than all. He is attained only by unalloyed devotional service. Okay. Only by devotional service only we can go to spiritual world and we can attain Krishna. Otherwise, no other way, no other way, no other way. This is just the spiritual world. See, this is a material world. Vishnu came here just for maintaining. He is there in Vaikuntha always, but just for maintaining, he is coming to the spiritual world. First, Mahavishnu is Supreme God came as a Mahavishnu first. Mahavishnu expanded, and so many innumerable planets are coming. And there, Garbhodakasha is entering into each planet, and from his Garbha, the Brahma, lotus sprout, Brahma is coming. And again, Vishnu is expanding a super soul in all living beings. So 3 different incarnation, Purusha Avatara of Krishna, it is there. So God is expanding in 3 different Purusha Avatara. And again, after creation, after everything universal created, he will, in each universe, he will take as a Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Like each universal one Brahma is there. Okay. So Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, again they are expanding. So God is one. He is expanding in multiple form. Okay. And only in Dwapara Yuga, he comes in his original form. That is Krishna. Krishna comes in his original form only in one of the Dwapara Yuga. That is only during the 7th Manvantara he comes. All other Manvantara, different form of Krishna will come. Different form of God is coming. Okay. So this is material world. And outer covering of material world is there is earth, water, fire, air covering is there. Above that is Kailash planet is there. Above that is spiritual world. It also starts from Dwaraka, means the first Vaikuntha planets, Vishnu's planet, then Ayodhya, Dwaraka, like that. Then the topmost is Goloka Vrindavana. That is what described in Goloka chart. If you want to believe, you can believe. Otherwise, it is up to you whether you have faith in Krishna's word or not. Okay, see, these are lower planetary system. This is only the material world. Lower planet system. Patala, Rasatala, Matala, Sutala, Vitala, Tala, and Bhuloka is the middle. And top planet system is Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka, Marloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. And Brahma is residing in Satyaloka, topmost. So Krishna told from topmost Brahmaloka to the lowest you take, everywhere is a repeated birth and death. Everywhere is a place of misery and repeated birth and death is there. Okay, lower planet, middle planet, higher planet, upper planet. And above there is a covering. See, earth, water, fire, air, the topmost covering. So Vishnu is maintaining all those things, all these this world. Super soul is maintaining each and everything. And there is a Shiva and Parvati. They are also like the our mother and father. They also have different role in our life. So these are all by the direction of Supreme God. They are all working. And about the Vishnu is always there in spiritual world, and he's one of expansions there come to material world to maintaining. Okay, it doesn't mean that Vishnu is the material. He is a spiritual. He is there already there in spiritual world for material manifestation, and for the maintenance he is coming. And topmost covering after this Kailash planet is there. So Shiva is there in the spiritual world also, but for Shiva Parvati, they come here for taking care of this all material. They have different roles. So they are in there in spiritual world also. Okay, and above that there is a higher planet system, Vaikuntha planet. So everything it is there in spiritual. So this one we already saw. The person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the result derived from studying the Vedas, performing austerity or giving. So whoever practicing devotional service, that is higher. That is you cannot compare that by just doing dana, dharma, punya, or austerity, good karma, or charity. That is not. So that is higher. Personal person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the result derived from studying the Veda, performing austerity, sacrifice, giving charity, pursuing philosophy and fruitive activities. At the end, he reaches the supreme abode. So if you do devotional service, that alone is enough. You no need to separately do charity, do good things to others, dana, dharma. That is not required. Only praying to God, that is the ultimate. Okay, you no need to do separate worship or yajna. Those things are not required. So other yogis and some part of the 8th chapter also mentioned there is some auspicious time to leave this body. Like the night is not good, the day is good, and the Brahma Murta morning time is good, and so many things is mentioned. That is only for the other yogis. For devotees, no need to worry. Okay, other yogis at the time of death, they'll check auspicious time and inauspicious time. That is only applies to other yogis. But for the devotees, pure devotee at the time of death, any time is auspicious for him. Yeah, either it is Krishna Paksha, Shukla Paksha, day, night, or whatever time it is, whatever place it is, wherever it is, that is auspicious for devotee because he can remember Krishna anytime is auspicious. So we no need to worry one part of the 8th chapter. That is only for the other yogis. Okay. Okay, 8th chapter is completed. So the chapter summary is D-E-A-D. D means Arjuna's doubt. He is asking, what is Brahman? What is Adi Bhuta? What is Adi Yajna? Everything he is asking. We saw that 8 questions and Krishna replied the answers also. And the second section we saw end time of the life. D-E. E for ending. Ending period. How should be? Remembering Krishna at the time of death. So remembering Krishna at the time of death is very important. Then we'll go to spiritual world. But how to remember? Every day if you do, then only you can able to remember at the time of death. And yea, attaining supreme. Why we have to attain? How to attain? And what? Why we have to attain means this world is a misery, places of misery, dukkhalayam. That's why we have to go to supreme spiritual world. How to? How means? And by remembering Krishna at the time of death. But how to remember at the time of death? Daily, if you do devotional service, then only you can remember at the time of death also. Okay, then there is a why we have to go, because even though this Brahma, from Brahma to lower planet also repeated birth is there. So if you go to heaven, again that is also not permanent. That is also material world. During annihilation pralaya, that will also destroy. So only the spiritual world will remain. That's why the spiritual versus and material versus it is mentioned there. And supremacy of pure bhakti is attaining Krishna. So that is also mentioned at the end. So now the time for polling. I'm starting polling question. What is common between the highest material planets down to the lowest? Is it austerity, those things, is it common, or is it repeated birth and death is common? So Krishna told, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. What is Punaravartina? Punaravartina means repeated. What is that repeated? So I'm ending the polling. Correct answer is repeated birth and death. You are all correct. Only 8 people replied wrong. Okay. Next question. Antakale cha mameva. That shloka is there, right? Antakala means end of the time, end of the life, that is death. In that time, means if one remembers Krishna at the time of death, what he will get? If you remember Krishna, will you get heavenly planet? Will you get hellish planet? Will you get spiritual world? Krishna's abode, without a doubt. Is it that? So the sloka is Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevara ya prayati sa bhatvava yati nasti atra na samshaya. So the correct answer, na samshaya means without doubt. Correct answer is spiritual world, Krishna's abode, without doubt. So whoever is able to remember Krishna at the time of death, he will go to spiritual world without doubt. Heaven planet is not spiritual. It is still material world only. Okay. There are 14 planet system that is called as material world. Heaven is one of that. And hellish planet is also material world only. And the last question in the polling. What is material world is called as in 8th chapter? Is it places of misery, dukkhalayam, or is it places of enjoyment? So one of the sloka, there Krishna mentioned material world, how it is. In that sloka, if I tell that, you will come to know the answer. So I'm not telling. Okay. So end polling. I'm ending the polling. This material world is called as places of misery. Many people consider it as place of enjoyment. That is wrong. This is ocean of misery. Krishna confirmed it. Dukkhalayam. Dukkha means crying. Alaya means house. This is a house of dukkha. So dukkhalayam. This is a place of misery. Okay. So depth is there for certain. Our body is changing each and every moment. How the caterpillar change into butterfly, like that we are also changing from small to big. Every time our body is constantly changing. So that is what this chapter is about, death. Okay, death is for sure. But how to make our life success? Our this entire life is preparing for the exam. Final exam is death. Okay, that's what. But for kids, this much is enough. We are going to the question answer session. So yesterday's question, so many people asked questions. Today also you can ask the question in that. I will answer it now. Okay. I'm stop sharing the screen and I will share the question answer now. So you all can enter the question here. I'm sending the Google form in chat. Because we tried breakout room and all, it didn't work because some people left when we moved to the other room. This chat. See, you all, okay, I said, you all got this link. Click on this link, type your question. Okay. Even in WhatsApp also same thing is there. You can, yesterday I shared this link. So whatever answer you, whatever question you are asked, it has come here. This is yesterday's. Okay. First I will reply for the yesterday's question in 7th chapter. Meaning of devotee. Somebody asked, who is that? Dhyana Chota. He's asking meaning of devotee. Well, let me stop recording. Did I already stop? No. Stop recording.